Imagine walking into your dream job, heart racing with excitement, only to have your ideas stolen right in front of you by a slimy coworker who laughs it off like you're nothing. But what if I told you that same thief ended up begging for my help, watching as I soared past him to the top? Stick around, because this isn't just any office drama. It's my real-life story of sweet, satisfying payback that left him speechless. Hello everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm 28 now, living in Birmingham, UK, and I work as a project manager in a bustling corporate firm. Today, I want to share a very personal story from my life, my first office job that nearly shattered me, but ultimately made me unbreakable. If you've ever felt invisible at work or dreamed of turning the tables on someone who wronged you, hit that like button, subscribe for more real-life tales of triumph, and let's dive in. This one's going to hit home. Okay, let's go back to where it all started. I was 22, fresh out of university with a degree in business management clutched in my hands like a golden ticket. Birmingham was buzzing with opportunity, or so I thought. I'd grown up in a modest family. My mum was a school teacher, dad worked in a factory, and they always drilled into me that hard work was the key to everything. Keep your head down, do your best, and the world will reward you, Mum used to say. I believed it. Boy, was I naive. My first day at the corporate firm, let's call it Apex Solutions, though that's not the real name, I stepped off the bus into the crisp morning air, my new blouse ironed to perfection, my handbag swinging with that fresh leather smell. It was one of those towering glass buildings in the city center, the kind that makes you feel small just looking up at it. The lobby echoed with the click of heels and the hum of elevators, and I remember my stomach twisting in knots as I rode up to the 5th floor. This is it, Rachel, I whispered to myself in the mirror that morning. Your big break. I was hired as an administrative assistant, supporting a team of about 15 in the marketing department. My boss, Mr. Hargrove, a stern man in his late 50s with a perpetual frown and a tie that always seemed too tight, greeted me with a curt nod. Welcome aboard. Hit the ground running, he said, before disappearing into his office. No tour, no warm smiles. Just straight to my desk, a cramped cubicle in the corner with a flickering computer screen and a stack of files waiting like a mountain to climb. At first, it was exhilarating. I'd dove in headfirst. I'd arrive early, brew the first pot of coffee, organize files that had been neglected for months. I volunteered for every extra task, proofreading reports, scheduling meetings, even running errands for supplies. My emails were meticulously crafted, no typos, clear subject lines, always with a polite sign-off. I stayed late, the office lights dimming around me as I double-checked spreadsheets until my eyes burned. If I prove myself, I thought, they'll see my value. Promotions will come. This is how you build a career. But oh, how wrong I was. It didn't take long to notice the undercurrents, the invisible threads pulling people in directions that had nothing to do with merit. Office politics, that slimy, unspoken game where flattery trumps talent, and alliances are forged over whispered lunches. I didn't even know it existed until it slapped me in the face. Enter Simon. He was the epitome of everything I wasn't. Mid-30s, slicked back hair that screamed, trying too hard, always in tailored suits that looked a size too small. He had this perpetual smirk, like he knew a secret joke about everyone else. Simon wasn't particularly skilled, His reports were riddled with errors, his ideas recycled from Google searches. But he was a master schmoozer. Every morning, he'd saunter in with a steaming cup of coffee for Mr. Hargrove, timed perfectly to catch him before the first meeting. "Just how you like it, sir. Black, no sugar, extra strong," he'd say with a wink. Then came the laughter. Loud, forced guffaws at Hargrove's terrible jokes, the kind that made everyone else cringe. "Brilliant insight, boss. You're spot on as always." I watched it unfold from my cubicle, my fingers pausing over the keyboard. At first, I dismissed it. "That's just his style," I told myself. "Focus on your work, Rachel." But soon, the rewards started piling up for him. A minor project here, a client lunch there. He got the corner desk with the window view, while I sweated under fluorescent lights. And me? I was the invisible glue holding things together. I'd fix his mistakes quietly, a wrong figure in a budget report, a missed deadline on a vendor email, because I thought that's what team players did. No need to make a fuss, I'd think, my cheeks flushing as I hit save on his documents late at night. The whispers started subtly, during lunch breaks in the break room. With its stale coffee smell and humming fridge, I'd overhear snippets. "Simon's got Hargrove wrapped around his finger. Did you see how he took credit for that campaign tweak? That was Rachel's idea, but no one said it to my face." I felt a knot in my gut, a mix of confusion and hurt. Why wasn't my effort enough? My hands would tremble slightly as I ate my packed sandwich alone, staring at the motivational poster on the wall. "Teamwork makes the dream work." Yeah, right. Things escalated one rainy Tuesday. I'd been up all night prepping a proposal for a new client, a tech startup needing a full marketing overhaul. Charts, data analyses, creative pitches, I poured my soul into it. My eyes were gritty from lack of sleep, my back aching from hunching over my laptop at home. In the morning meeting, the team gathered in the conference room, the air thick with the scent of fresh pastries someone had brought. Hargrove cleared his throat. "Ideas for the Apex Tech account?" I raised my hand tentatively, my voice steady despite the butterflies. "I've got a detailed plan here." But before I could finish, Simon jumped in, his chair scraping loudly as he leaned forward. "Actually, boss, I've been thinking about this. What if we integrate social media influencers with targeted ads? Here's the breakdown." He slid my printed notes across the table. My notes, with my handwriting in the margins. He'd swiped them from my desk when I stepped out for a bathroom break. My mouth went dry. The room blurred as Hargrove nodded approvingly. "Solid work, Simon. Run with it." Applause rippled lightly. I sat there, heat rising to my face, my nails digging into my palms under the table. Inside, my thoughts screamed, "That's mine. I did the research. How dare he?" But outwardly, I forced a smile, my lips tight, and said nothing. Powerlessness washed over me like a cold wave. That night, alone in my tiny flat, rain pattering against the window, I paced the living room, tears stinging my eyes. Am I really this invisible? Do I not matter at all? It wasn't just that one incident. Simon's antics ramped up. He'd forget to include me in email chains for projects I was assigned to, then blame me for not being proactive. In team huddles, he'd interrupt me mid-sentence with a condescending, "Let me clarify that for you, Rachel." His voice dripped with false helpfulness, but his eyes gleamed with triumph. The betrayal cut deep. I'd helped him so many times, staying late to cover his sloppy work, never once throwing him under the bus. Yet here he was, undermining me at every turn. The office became a minefield. I'd walk in each morning with a heaviness in my chest, my shoulders tense, scanning for his smirk. Colleagues started distancing themselves. No one wanted to align with the quiet one, who couldn't defend herself. Lunch invitations dried up. Whispers followed me to the copier. I felt underestimated, disrespected, like a doormat everyone wiped their feet on. My self-doubt grew. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe Mum was wrong about hard work. Sleepless nights became routine, my mind replaying every slight, every stolen moment. One particularly brutal week, after Simon publicly called out a minor typo in my email during a staff meeting, "Come on, Rachel, attention to detail is key," he said with a chuckle, while Hargrove frowned. I hit rock bottom. The meeting ended, and I excused myself to the bathroom, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry bees. I locked the stall, slid down the wall, and let the sobs come. My chest heaved, tears soaking my blouse. Why me? What did I do to deserve this? The cold tile floor pressed against my skin, a stark reminder of how low I'd fallen. In that moment, powerlessness consumed me. I considered quitting, packing up my desk, walking out into the Birmingham streets, and never looking back. But as the tears slowed, something shifted. A spark of anger ignited in my core, hot and unyielding. No, I thought, wiping my face with trembling hands. I won't let him win. I won't let this break me. It was my turning point. That evening, over a cup of tea in my flat, staring at the city lights twinkling outside, I made a plan. No more silence. No more covering for his messes. I'd document everything, my contributions, his thefts. I'd speak up, even if my voice cracked. I'd reclaim my space. The next day, I started small. In a team email about an upcoming deadline, I replied all. Just to clarify, the initial research for this was mine. Happy to lead if needed. My fingers hovered over send, heart pounding, but I clicked it. Simon's response was swift. A private message. What's this about? Team effort, right? I ignored it, a small thrill of defiance bubbling up. Over the weeks, I built momentum. I stopped fixing his errors quietly. Instead, I'd politely point them out in group settings. Simon, looks like there's a discrepancy in the figures here. Shall I correct it based on my data? His face would redden, that smirk faltering. I volunteered ideas in meetings with confidence, my posture straight, eye contact firm. Based on my analysis, I'd say, emphasizing the my. Internally, fears swirled. What if they think I'm pushy? What if I get fired? But I pushed through, the adrenaline mixing with terror. Simon noticed. His flattery amped up with Hargrove, but cracks showed. He'd corner me by the water cooler, his breath hot with coffee. Rachel, no need to make waves. We're all in this together. I'd smile sweetly. Exactly, Simon. Credit where it's due. The power shift was subtle at first, but palpable. Colleagues started nodding in my direction, including me in discussions. The frustration I'd bottled up began to fuel me, turning helplessness into resolve. As months passed, I dove deeper into projects, networking with other departments, even attending after-work events I'd previously skipped. My wardrobe evolved, sharper blazers, bolder colors, mirroring my growing confidence. But Simon doubled down. He started spreading rumors. "Rachel's getting a bit aggressive, don't you think?" I'd overhear it in the break room, my ears burning. The injustice fueled me further. "He thinks he can bury me," I'd think, clenching my jaw. "But I'll rise above." The real escalation came during prep for the annual client gala, a big event where we'd pitch to potential partners. I was assigned to coordinate the presentation materials, but Simon, sensing opportunity, muscled in. "I'll handle the slides," he announced in a meeting, winking at Hargrove. I spoke up immediately. "Actually, since I'm leading coordination, I'll oversee that." Hargrove paused, then nodded. "Fine, Rachel. Keep me updated." Simon's eyes narrowed, a flash of fury crossing his face. Game on. Behind the scenes, I worked tirelessly. Late nights in the office, the hum of the air conditioning my only company, I'd refine every detail, visuals, scripts, backups. Simon tried sabotage, accidentally deleting a shared file, then blaming IT. But I'd anticipated it, keeping personal copies. "No worries," I emailed the team. "I've got the backup from my work last night." His frustration mounted. I could see it in his tightened lips, the way he'd avoid my gaze. Tension built like a storm. Whispers in the hallways grew. Rachel's stepping up. Simon's slipping. I felt the shift, a mix of exhilaration and anxiety. My hands would sweat during confrontations, but I'd steady them, reminding myself, "You've earned this. Don't back down." The gala arrived, a glittering evening in an upscale Birmingham hotel ballroom, chandeliers sparkling overhead, the air scented with perfumes and catered hors d'oeuvre. Suits and gowns mingled, laughter echoing off marble floors. My heart thrummed as I adjusted my dress, a sleek black number that made me feel powerful. This was it. The pitch to a major client, a make or break for the department. Simon, ever the opportunist, positioned himself front and center. As the presentation began, Hargrove introduced us. "Simon and Rachel have put this together." But I stepped forward first, microphone in hand, my voice clear and steady. "Thank you. I've led the development of this strategy, drawing on extensive research and innovative tactics." I clicked through the slides, my slides, with watermarks of my name subtly embedded. Midway, Simon tried to interject, and to add to that, but I continued smoothly. "As per my analysis, this approach yields 25% higher engagement." The client leaned in, nodding. Simon fidgeted, his face paling. Then came the bombshell. I'd included a section on past successes, highlighting my individual contributions to previous projects, ones he'd claimed data-backed, irrefutable. The room fell silent as I wrapped up. Applause erupted. The client shook my hand. "Impressive work, Rachel. Let's discuss partnership." Hargrove beamed at me. Simon stood frozen, his smirk gone, replaced by a slack-jawed stare. His eyes met mine, wide with shock and dawning humiliation. "But he stammered later, cornering me by the bar. "That was our work." I looked him square in the eye, my voice calm but laced with steel. "No, Simon. That was my work. You've ridden on it long enough." He sputtered, face reddening, but words failed him. He slunk away, shoulders slumped, as colleagues congratulated me. In that moment, triumph surged through me. A warm, electric rush. Relief flooded my veins. Validation wrapped around me like a hug. I'd done it. No more invisibility. No more tears in stalls. The aftermath was swift. Hargrove pulled me aside the next week. "Rachel, you've shown real leadership. I'm promoting you to junior project lead." Simon? Demoted to basic tasks, his coffee runs ignored. He quit a month later, tail between his legs. Watching him clear his desk, avoiding eye contact, was the sweetest justice. My chest lightened, the weight of betrayal lifting. I felt alive, empowered, like I'd reclaimed my voice and my worth. Looking back, that job taught me that life isn't always fair, but you don't have to accept injustice. Karma might take time, but when you stand up for yourself, it hits hard. I learned that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's acting despite it. If you're facing something similar, remember, your voice matters. Don't let anyone dim your light. It's okay to fight for what you've earned. Phew, that was intense, right? If this story fired you up or gave you that satisfying chill of justice served, smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Drop a comment below. What's the most epic revenge or comeback you've experienced or witnessed at work? Share your stories. I read every one. And if you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell for more real-life tales of triumph over betrayal. Thanks for watching. Stay strong out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. God bless you. Bye.